All right, what's going on, guys? It's this kid, and today we're going to talk about the Fury Warrior Mage Tower Challenge. So the reason I'm making this video is I just did the challenge, and I was going through watching guides and things like that, and they all say, oh, it's super easy, it's the easiest challenge, and I still took about a day to kind of get used to things. And there's a lot of things that people don't talk about that I think could be very, very useful. So what I want to do is compact everything into one video and just make it as easy as possible for someone who really doesn't play Fury Warrior or just made the class for this challenge. So first things first, we'll go into talents. The most important thing here is going to be impending victory. It's going to heal you for 40% of your maximum health, and that's going to be incredibly useful. But for the most part, just don't change these up at all if you want the easiest time in here. As far as items go, you don't really have to go too crazy with this, but be sure to get the enchants on your items. Be sure to get stats on your chest and strength on your gloves. Besides that, I just went with versatility on my rings. I don't know how much that would matter, but weapons are going to be a little bit different. So what you can do for this challenge, and I think it's only going to work for Fury Warriors really, is you can get the heirloom two-handed weapons that give strength, so either Arcanite Reaper or True Silver Champion, and you can get them up to the level 45 version. From there, you're going to craft 2 of them and put Crusader on each of those. Unfortunately, if you've already upgraded those weapons to the next level, you can't really do Crusader on those weapons, so this isn't really going to be too useful. If that's the case, you're pretty much just going to get Celestial Guidance and Sinful Revelation. As far as consumables go, you're going to want these 3 at all times. You're going to want Spectral Flask of Power, you're going to want Veiled Augment Runes, and you're going to want Feast of Gluttonous Hedonism. As far as the food goes, you can also go with Haste Food if you don't have those feasts. If you want the best chance at completing this challenge within the first few tries, make sure to complete all that stuff. But now we'll go on to the actual fight. So as far as the fight goes, I'll start with a general idea of the fight, and then I'll go into more specifics and how to autopilot this fight. So first things first, for this boss, she is extremely tanky. Most of the time she's just sitting in the room. She's also going to spawn imps, and there's going to be 3 different kinds of imps she'll spawn. One is a plague imp that's going to drop a puddle when it gets near you and explodes. The other is going to be a fireball imp. There's going to be 3 of those at a time. They're going to teleport around her, and eventually they'll do more and more damage and be able to one-shot you. The other kind is going to be a healer imp. The healer imp spawns at the opposite side of the room that she's in. Eventually they will get to her and start healing her, but there's a big announcement whenever they spawn, so you don't have to keep an eye out for that all the time. Just wait for that announcement. She also puts a shield on herself, and within this shield she's going to start channeling a spell. Throughout the channeling of the spell, it's going to be more and more damaging, so you want to DPS down her shield. Once you get that shield down, you can interrupt her and stop her from channeling the spell. Once she gets down to 50% health, she's going to teleport way back into the lava part of the room. She's going to go there and start spawning meteors, but besides that, everything else will be the same in this fight. You want to dodge the meteors because they will do a ton of damage to you and also stun you for a couple seconds. At about 30% or so, she's going to teleport to the opposite side of the lava room, and eventually she will keep teleporting over and over to the other opposite side of the rooms. Eventually, when you do enough damage to her, she will die, and that will be the end of the challenge. So now on to specific things about this fight. The first thing that I wanted to mention, especially for people that are newer to Fury Warriors, is you have 3 main abilities that do damage. It's going to be Bloodthirst, Raging Blow, and Rampage. You want to mix in Whirlwind in between each of those abilities. So Bloodthirst, Whirlwind, Raging Blow, Whirlwind, Rampage, Whirlwind, Raging Blow, Whirlwind. You get my point. The reason this is Whirlwind will give you a buff that makes your next damaging ability basically be an AoE attack instead of just a single target. Throughout the whole fight, since there's so many imps popping up at all times, everything being an AoE attack is going to make this way easier for you. The next thing I wanted to mention is going to be Recklessness Bladestorm. This is super important, and you want to be using this throughout the fight. Basically, whenever it's up and there's a lot of imps up, you want to be using Recklessness Bladestorm and pretty much just cleaving all of them down at the same time. My next big tip is going to be go through this list of importance when there's a bunch of imps up and also there's a shield up. Go for the Plague Imp first, and then the Fireball Imps, then the shield, and then the healer imps. The first thing to go over there is that the plague imps are very detrimental if they explode, so you want to kill them as soon as possible. The fireball imps are very annoying if you leave them up. They will ramp up damage, and also the boss will ramp up damage if you leave her shield up for too long. The healer imps do not ramp up their healing at all, so you can kind of let them sit for a little bit. You don't want to let them sit for too long, but generally if the shield is up, don't kill the healer imps, kill the shield first, and then kill the healer imps. But if there's no shield and the healers come, kill those healer imps first. Another thing I wanted to mention is that fear is going to be incredibly useful when the healer imps come. If recklessness and bladestorm are down while the healer imps come, try and use intimidating shout so that'll fear them away, and that'll give you time to kill either the fireball imps, plague imps, shield, whatever it may be, and then from there you can move on to the healer imps. Another thing is try and use charge as much as possible. It's going to generate 20 rage for you, and that's going to be very good throughout the whole fight. Also, impending victory is going to be your best friend here. It's going to heal you for 40% of your maximum health, along with bloodthirst and along with enrage regeneration. You're going to be getting a ton of health back whenever you really need it. The last thing that I really wanted to mention is try running around while the plague imps are chasing you. This is going to cause them to have issues casting their spell because they won't be able to sit still. If they're sitting still for too long, they start casting the spell, so try and run around and hit them while they're running around with you. It's going to make it way easier to deal with them in general. Besides that, try and watch the rest of the video, see if you can pick anything specific up. I made a bunch of mistakes, but generally you can see what I did. And good luck in your armor, good luck in your book mount, whatever you're going for, and have a good rest of your day. Thank you.